Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the It's Obvious podcast. This is episode 77. My name's Garrett Drake. I'm joined alongside Jacob Alka. How are you feeling?
Great.
Wow.
Yeah.
You seem really ecstatic.
Like
that was really special, Jacob.
Thank you.
Reminds me a lot of imagination.
That's what I was going for.
From SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Okay, why are you feeling so great?
I don't know. I'm just in a good mood tonight. It's Friday night. The best time of the week is Friday night.
I agree.
My opinion, so.
I like the whole day of Friday.
I just like Friday night.
Weirdly enough, even if I work on a Friday, I still enjoy it from start to finish. It's just because I know the weekend's ahead, especially the festivities that typically take place on Friday night.
Right.
So I'm excited to be here, Jacob. It's a good night to be podcasting.
Yes.
Out of the norm. Usually it's Saturday. Originally Sundays, but more often recently we've been doing Friday nights because it's just worked out with our schedule. So.
Unfortunately, we can't do Saturday this week because I'm seeing Fantastic Beasts with my father.
You are.
And I hope it's at so-so reviews, but I'm still looking forward to it because I'm a big Harry Potter guy. So.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a negative person at all, and I never just like harshly judge something without seeing it, but I think that movie like doesn't look good at all for some reason. I don't know why.
You're a real bastard.
I'm going to go see it for sure because I love the Harry Potter universe and I want it to succeed, and everything I know about the character Newt Scamander and the world surrounding him in this movie, it sounds interesting. I just think the movie looks okay. Like nothing about it's grabbing me, but I'm hoping I'm proved wrong when I go see it. I'm going to do my best not to go in there like this is going to suck. I'm just going to go in there with zero expectations and see how it goes. Usually that plays out in my favor. I kind of went into Warcraft like that. I know this is a completely different subject, but I went into Warcraft with zero expectations, and I actually found a lot of enjoyment in that movie. So we'll see how it goes, Jacob. I hope you enjoy it. And the reason why, it's not just because Jacob's going to see a movie. We have to cancel the podcast on a Saturday, but my girlfriend's finally returning home from Hong Kong. She's been studying abroad for 3 months. Having the time of her life, and she's coming back to this boring town.
That's a real shame.
Yeah, but she's coming back, and I'm riding with her parents to pick her up from the airport tomorrow. I'm going to spend tomorrow with her and most of Sunday after work and everything. So, and I have family coming into town because this is the week of Thanksgiving. And,
do you have that week off from work?
I have to go to work Monday and Tuesday. I have the rest of the week off.
That's not too bad.
No, so Thanksgiving will put a dent in our video schedule, I believe. We most likely will only have a podcast this week, unfortunately. We might have a couple Let's Plays if I hop on and happen to do something, but regardless of videos, I will be on probably every night on various games, whether it be Battlefield, Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm on every night.
Maybe even Halo, because I really enjoyed playing Halo on the 15th anniversary this past Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm trying to stick to Battlefield and Overwatch right now.
I feel Overwatch as well. I had an absolute blast with Overwatch the other night playing as Sombra and everything. It was fantastic, and I freaking love Farrah's update. But so Thanksgiving with family in town and everything will keep us pretty busy, just all that going on. So I doubt we'll do a whole lot of videos, but we have the podcast, so I encourage everyone to comment this week and stay in touch about all the games we're playing. All the stuff we discussed tonight will be exciting, and I hope to see you guys online, whether it be on Xbox or PlayStation. I just want to reiterate for those of you that didn't catch the Halo Let's Play we put out this past Tuesday. We do have an Xbox club now that they're live. It's just called It's Obvious Gaming. You can find it just by searching it in the club section. I believe that's what I read at least. So join there and we'll stay in touch when I'm on Xbox, which is not often, but at this point it'll at least be once a week. I'll hop on Xbox to play either Gears or Halo.
More than likely, I'm probably not going to be on Xbox.
Right, that's right.
I just don't. To be completely honest, I don't have any games on Xbox anymore. I've traded them all in.
Yeah, our group of friends that aren't always, like Zach Bynum being one of them, who's been on this podcast several times, and a bunch of our other buddies are always on Xbox, so they'll be in the club, and I imagine I'll be playing with them a lot, so we can all team up with them as well. Yeah. So we do also have a small community on Xbox that I'm sure will grow.
Yeah, I do plan to get Battlefield on Xbox in the future, so
yes.
I will do that.
As do I at some point. I don't know when that'll be because there's still so much I want to play in between now and next year.
It might be early next year. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, there's still so much coming out. But yeah, I will be on Xbox a little more than often. I don't ever want Xbox fans who tune into this podcast or our channel in general to ever feel like we're making fun of Xbox. I mean, we joke about it a lot, but we genuinely do want to build a community on Xbox as well. We don't want to exclude anyone. So I hope you guys join the club. It'll be exciting. But Jacob, anything exciting in your life aside from video games happen this week that you want to share?
Let's think here. Let's ponder for a second.
Okay.
No. Nothing exciting.
Okay.
It's another average week for me.
Yeah. You and me both, Jacob. But there is one exciting thing. I finished my drawing class. My first class in well, I won't say my first class in college because I've taken many college courses, but first class at the Savannah College of Art and Design I've completed, and I got a 98 on my final drawing. You know what? I should have brought it in here. Maybe I'll show it next week, my portrait, my self-portrait I had to draw for my final. It's so funny.
Do you think it's worth a 98?
No, not at all. But maybe, I assume he graded in the sense of everyone's different skill levels, because everyone that takes a drawing class, not everyone's going to be a naturally talented artist. Sure, you can improve, but some people just have it, some people don't. Kind of like singing, kind of like, I don't know, there's various talents that I feel like are God-given that people have, and drawing and painting and stuff like that I think is one of them. But I don't think it was terrible. It's definitely one of the better drawings I've done, but I still like to think it looks like Trish from Napoleon Dynamite. But he said the only comment he made was that he really thought it looked like he said it reminded him of Game of Thrones. That's what he said, the style of it, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, got a 98, passed that class with an A.
Nice.
I have 2 more weeks of math. I just feel like math is dragging on forever. I'm sorry, I know no one comes to this podcast to listen to me talk about college courses, but I have 2 more weeks of math and I'll be done with that, and then I'll be off for the rest of the year until beginning of next year. I'll be back at it. But yeah, it's been fantastic so far. School's been good, and I'm just excited for my girlfriend to come home, and I got to say goodbye to this beard tonight or tomorrow, I think.
Why is that?
I won't say goodbye completely, just a majority of it has to go because, well, one, I'll start with this. Every meal I've had for the past few weeks has come with a side of mustache. And I mean that by saying everything I eat, I just eat my mustache with it, and it's awful. I almost need to like pin it up like this while I eat or something, which is kind of gross. But, you know, it's kind of annoying. I like it at this length. I don't think I've ever had it quite this length before. But I'm sad to see it go. Like I told Casey, I'm like, do you want me to, you know, trim it up before you get back? And she's like, you can keep it if you want. But I took that as a sign, is take it down a notch. Because if I was a girl, I would not want to kiss a face that has a bush on it. That would just annoy me.
What's to say?
I mean, I'll kiss your face if you have a bush on it. She might not. Yeah. She might not. She might have been faking it for the last 2.5 years. We'll see. But yeah, she'll be home, and I'm excited for her to be home because we have a lot of fun times hanging out. So yeah, it'll be good.
I'm happy.
I'm excited for this weekend to spend time with my girlfriend again.
Should be a good weekend. We'll check back in with you next week.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I come back, she's like cut off my hands and broke up with me.
Garrett,
for no particular reason. She just Hong Kong changed her drastically.
She's like a ninja now.
Yeah.
Those are Japan, but still.
Because she gets off the plane, she's like in a legit just full ninja outfit.
League of Assassins.
What happened? Exactly. Jacob, what games did you play this week?
I played Overwatch. We had a Let's Play of that.
We did.
You should check it out. Garrett played some Sombra.
I did. I really enjoyed myself too.
Yeah. How do you feel about Sombra overall?
She is by far one of my favorite characters to play. Now, I'm still getting a grasp on everything she can do to aid a team. I am as well. Especially in certain situations, because I feel like she's useful in so many situations. And her ultimate is very powerful, too, if used in the right scenario.
Here's how I found the best way to use her ultimate. First, you throw your little thing. Your
little teleport thing? Okay.
Then you stealth in behind the enemy.
Yes.
Get like right in the middle of them.
Of course.
Then use your EMP.
Mm-hmm.
Then before they can kill you, once they realize you teleport out.
Yes.
Like nothing happened.
So do you think
they're all exposed?
Do you think it makes sense to combine like Zarya and her ultimate, or like maybe?
I don't think it's necessary.
Use those. Yeah, I was thinking
it has a pretty big radius.
Like use them separately, like hack everyone, and then have like. Maybe not Hanzo, Genji fly in with a sword and take everyone out while their crap is down. I don't know.
I feel like Zarya's ultimate is better paired with an offensive ultimate.
For sure.
And Sombra's ultimate's more of just... It can be paired with ultimates, but...
It's kind of neutral.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you can just take out the enemy because they can't use their abilities. You don't necessarily have to have another ultimate to pair it with.
Yeah.
But you can, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Now, after playing her... Maybe it's just because I'm still learning how to use her effectively, but I didn't think she was OP at all.
No.
I mean, there was plenty of situations where...
She's definitely annoying. I'll give her that, but she's easily dealt with.
Yeah, there was multiple occasions where I was either playing against Sombra or playing as Sombra where I either couldn't just massacre someone, or I would just... There are other times where I was playing as Pharah where I would just destroy Sombra every time she was near me, no matter what. I would just destroy her.
The biggest thing about playing her is you gotta keep track of your teleport timer. Because if it runs out and you're behind someone, you're probably going to die because you only have 200 health.
That happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think she's OP at all. Originally, I was like, man, 60 rounds in a gun, that's ridiculous. But that thing really isn't that deadly.
Like every character has unlimited ammo, so I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was right in people's faces with that gun a few times, and I didn't kill them as fast as I thought I might.
Yeah. Well, if you're up close, it kills quicker.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, there was multiple occasions where I wasn't very close. I mean, if you're at a mid-range, it doesn't do nearly as much damage as it does up close.
I just feel like her main role is just to annoy people. So
it serves as a great distraction. Yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing as her. I love Pharah's update as well. I literally played a few matches where I didn't touch the ground the entire time, which is awesome. And I still died a couple of times, typically from McCree or something. But again, I didn't feel... I don't know if it's too much, because I really did go on some crazy streaks as Pharah, because just no one would realize I was up there the whole time. I was just flying high.
They probably just couldn't kill you.
I guess.
I've had trouble shooting Pharahs in the past.
Right. So, but I mean, I love that. I don't know if it'll remain that way, but I had a lot of fun flying high.
Well, I've been playing a ton of Soldier this week, because he also got some buffs, because he back to the previous patch earlier this year, he got, what's it called? Where you get nerfed.
Yeah.
He got nerfed, and his damage got decreased and some other stuff. And, but this latest patch with Sombra, he got his bullets do more damage. I think they do 3 more damage per bullet, and his spread is wider, so it like less of his bullets hit, so it kind of counteracts. But overall, it's a buff, and he's much stronger than I can definitely tell. I'm wrecking people with Soldier. I'm getting like at least 20 to 30 eliminations every time I use him.
Yeah,
like it's really fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun as Soldier as well. He's one of my favorite characters to play as, even though people... I can see why people
he's
call
very
him
easy.
Yeah, he is an easy character, but
I almost feel like he's like part of the like guaranteed squad now. It's like he's so good now. You'd be stupid not to use him.
We had that phenomenal play. I can't remember what map it was, but we were playing. I don't know what's that game type, where you capture and hold or whatever.
The King of the Hill, where you hold a point. Where two teams fight over the point.
You were on and I was Soldier, and we both had our ultimates, and you boosted me, or nano boosted me, and I pulled up my visor and wiped the entire team. It was amazing.
I love doing Zarya and Soldier.
Yeah.
The gravity bomb and just ult them down. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, Overwatch is wonderful, and I look forward to playing that more this week. Anyone else who wants to join us, like I said, we will be on every night because I'm going to be off work, so I'm just going to go to town. My cousin's going to be in town too. I don't think he has PlayStation anymore, but he might play Xbox with me. I know he's bringing his Xbox, so I'll be playing games all over the place all week, so let's definitely just hang out and play some games.
Well, besides that, I played Pokemon Moon.
You did.
Got that last night.
And I went with you.
You did.
To the midnight release at GameStop, our local GameStop.
What did you think about the experience at GameStop with all the Pokemon nerds? A lot of interesting people.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I'm a huge nerd myself, but I will say, I'm not going to name any names, but we saw a handful of people we went to high school with that just inspired me to strive for big things in life. I'm like, that's exactly who I don't want to be. So, and I'm not saying, I mean, maybe they're happy with their lives, but that's exactly how I don't want to be.
These are like the cool kids in high school.
Yeah, these were like the kids that everyone thought they were like the coolest thing ever. And it's funny because I'm sure everyone can relate to this. Most, not all, but most super popular kids in high school are typically the losers later in life. I mean, of course, I've seen the bullies in high school that go on to be like superstars or whatever they're doing. I'm like, oh, well, good for them. But these guys, man, I was like, holy crap. I was like, that alone is an inspiration for me to finish college right there. I was like, I do not want to end up like that. Yeah. But we were all there for a love of Pokemon. I do love Pokemon, but not to the point where I was going to pick up a 3DS.
Yeah, you love Pokemon. You haven't played a version before.
Right, but that's the thing. I was obsessed with the show and cards as a kid. I just never played, or never finished a game, I should say. Yeah. But what was I going to say? Where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought when you called me out there.
No, I'm sorry. You're saying that you love Pokemon.
I love Pokemon.
Nonetheless. You watch the show, cards.
Dude, I can't freaking remember.
Pokemon Go.
I lost everything in my brain when you said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was important, too. It was like a phenomenal point. I forgot. Just tell me about Moon. Maybe it'll come to me.
You know, it's Pokemon. It's, you know, it has the
I remember what it was. Let me get it out before I forget.
Don't
Sorry,
ever
Jacob.
point at me like that.
I'll just touch your breast instead.
That's better.
The reason why I didn't pick up a 3DS like I talked about at the beginning of the year and Pokemon is because PlayStation 4 Pro was announced.
Which you needed.
Yeah, I definitely needed. But when they announced, prior to them announcing that, of course we had heard the rumors, but prior to the announcement, I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up or not. But after it was announced, I was like, I want that thing. So I got it instead of a 3DS. So that's why my plans for Pokemon were canceled. Yeah. Will I play it down the road? Probably not. But I'm going to wait for Switch and all the goodies that come on that machine.
Yeah.
Moon, let's hear it.
Like I was saying, it's Pokemon. Pokemon overall has not changed over the years, and why should they? They're selling millions of copies every time they make one. So, but apparently this one is selling really well. I forgot the statistics, but it's selling better than X and Y.
Really?
By far, yeah.
Okay.
I think that might have something to do with this whole anniversary year in Pokemon Go, maybe. Getting old people inspired back into Pokemon. But the gameplay itself, there's no longer gym leaders, there's no longer badges. They're replaced with trials, and they're like there's like I forgot what they're called. There's like so many weird words in this game. They're foreign to me, but there's like island leaders, and you have to do trials, and they like put you, like the one I just did, the very first one, I had to hunt down 3 Ratatats in a cave.
Nice.
And then I had to battle like a giant Raticate at the end. It was like the trial boss. Like you don't actually battle trainers like gym leaders. You battle strong Pokemon at the end.
Nice.
And if you beat them, you get a Z crystal, and that replaces the Mega Evolutions from X and Y. Do you know what Mega Evolutions are?
I've only heard about them in name.
Well, they're just like basically super powered evolutions that only last during the battle.
Okay.
But in this game, you have Z powers, which is replacing that, and you basically just use a really powerful move by using like a crystal in your bracelet.
And you save that strategically, like, I should probably use it now type situation.
Right, yeah. So it's like there are different elemental type crystals. Like I just got the first one, which is normal type. So if I use a normal type move on any Pokemon that has a normal type, you have to equip it to a Pokemon. So you can only one Pokemon can have the crystal. But once you use that, I just use a really powerful normal type move, and it does a lot of damage.
Sweet.
Yeah. Other than that, the world's beautiful. It takes place on a fictional. Is that right? Fictional, or is it non-fictional?
What's it called?
Alola. It's like Hawaii based.
Okay.
It's fake. Is fiction fake?
Yes.
Okay.
Fiction means fake.
That's what I was questioning.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I couldn't even remember what I was going to say 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So. But yeah, it's pretty. It's like a beachy island type feel. And I've only played 6 hours, and you think I'd be farther in the game than just the first trial. There's 7 trials, and there's 4 or 5 different islands. I'm still on the first island. But yeah, I've just been catching every Pokemon I see. I think I have like 20, 30 Pokemon caught already, and just filling out the Pokedex, and I'm just loving it so far.
That's great, Jacob.
I started with Litten, the fire cat.
Okay.
I had a huge debacle whether I wanted to pick that or the grass owl. Because originally I was going to do the grass owl, but I went with the fire cat.
No, grass, is that just like a plant type owl?
Grass is an elemental type in the game.
So it's a grass type owl.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
Okay.
But I went with the fire because I like the fire starters.
Okay, yeah, I figured that's why you went with it. He looks cool too, though.
Yeah.
So he seems to be a solid Pokemon.
I'll show you his final evolution. He's really badass.
Nice.
That's ultimately why I went with him.
That's exciting.
Hopefully next week I'll have been further through the game and I can give some more in depth of how I feel about the game. But first impressions, really enjoying it so far. It's good to be back in Pokemon, and I can't wait to get back.
That's great, Jacob. I know a handful of other people who have either been vocal or not vocal in our comments have said that they're also picking up Pokemon or have picked it up at this point. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah, leave it down in the comments below.
Certainly, we'd really appreciate that. Jacob, I played some more Dishonored.
And
when I say more, I played about 30 minutes. It just every time I try to sit down and play that game, I have to do something else. So I'm hoping tonight, maybe not tonight because I know you and I are hanging out with Evan and them later, but probably tomorrow before I go pick up my girlfriend from the airport, I'll probably try to play some more. But I'm on mission 4. I'm in the mansion right now. For those of you who've played the game, I'm in the mansion where you're in there with the...
Can you tell us about any missions without spoilers, maybe?
Not necessarily. I've barely played. That's the thing. I'm still being introduced to mechanics in the game. That's how little I've played of it.
And you are playing as Emily, correct?
I am, yeah. But it is really fun. It's a phenomenal game. And last week, some may recall me being like, "Oh, it feels really weird. I don't like it. I hope they fix it." Well, I'm used to it now. I had been getting used to it at that point anyway, but now I'm fully used to the way the game feels. I was just so enveloped in the way Call of Duty and Battlefield felt at the solid 60 frames, and it was just buttery smooth the whole time. And then jumping to that game was a bit jarring at first.
See, that's the thing. Like, I didn't even think it was that bad when you showed me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I've listened to a couple other podcasts talk about Dishonored 2, and they don't even mention it. So
right.
Maybe
now, I know me and Preston
know.
weren't alone, because not to the extent that I felt that way, but Preston also kind of felt that it was weird. And then there was a small community on the internet that also was like, this feels kind of weird, but maybe we're just a bunch of freaks.
There is a small like input delay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm totally used to it now. It feels fine. So loving Dishonor. I've just barely had a chance to play it, but I think that's all I played this week was Halo, Overwatch, Dishonored.
I only played 2 games.
Did I tell you the awful realization I had last night when you dropped me off at my house?
No.
Okay, so we went to pick up Pokemon. We got Taco Bell on the way back, of course.
It was good.
I was so pumped about this meal, dude. So excited.
What did you do?
So, walk in the door, sit down at the table, I take everything out of the bag. You know what I realized? The lady in the drive-thru put all of the sauce in your bag.
I noticed that. I thought maybe she split it up too and
no. When I opened that bag, dude, like my heart sank. I'm not going to lie to you,
Is it that important to you?
Yeah, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, Jacob. I was emotional. Wow. I was upset. No,
I just threw it all away.
It was still great.
Yeah.
But the sauce for me takes it to the next level. The mild sauce. Now, I can eat hot. Right. I can eat fire. I can even eat Diablo. But I just love the taste of mild. It just really completes my Taco Bell meal every time I have it.
See, the sauce for me, it's just a waste of time. Like, why? It tastes good on its own. Why should I take the time to dip it in the sauce and the stuff fall out of the burrito or taco or whatever I'm eating?
Don't do that.
Yeah, then I gotta take it. I gotta take the time to turn the wrist and go to my mouth again. That's a lot of time that I could be spent doing other things.
I don't dip a taco or my gordita. In my case, I don't dip it.
You pour it on?
No. I lay down the gordita. I open the flap. I squirt the sauce inside, close the flap.
See,
that way, you don't have to dip.
I don't like opening the things. They're closed, so they're ready for me to eat.
Well, the gorditas are easy to open because that soft flap opens.
Oh.
So that isn't a problem to squirt the sauce in. But the burritos I do dip because nothing falls out of them. So, and I just have a technique to where I can do it without anything falling out.
You're just a saucy man.
I am pretty saucy. But, no, but I was really upset that my sauce was gone. I almost called you to turn around and bring me my sauce. I was like, I can't do that to Jacob. But it was fantastic regardless. And then speaking of food mishaps, I was about to eat waffles caked in peanut butter this afternoon after I completed my math quiz. So I don't know if you guys have ever done this. Some of you might think I'm really weird for doing this. Some of you may do this, but I eat waffles and pancakes with peanut butter on them.
I started doing that after I saw you do it.
Okay.
Because it tastes so good.
It's funny because a lot of people that I know, the same thing has happened. They're like, I didn't eat that until you told me to do it.
But I do butter and peanut butter.
Yes, it's amazing. So for those of you that think I'm insane for putting peanut butter on waffles and or pancakes, please try it.
I don't do it on pancakes.
You haven't tried it on pancakes? I mean, it's essentially the same.
I don't eat
batter.
a lot of pancakes.
Neither do I. Whenever I have access to pancakes, I'll put peanut butter on them.
Okay.
But I encourage you guys, those of you who are waffle and pancake fanatics, just to, if you want to live life on the wild side, just spread some peanut butter on those bad boys before you eat them. I add syrup as well. I'm light on the syrup, but mostly peanut butter. But I love peanut butter so much that I just massacred these waffles and peanut butter. I'm talking the peanut butter was like this thick. It was a tall thickness of peanut butter on these waffles.
Dude, I haven't eaten peanut butter in a while.
I eat like 3 spoonfuls of peanut butter a day.
I really ought to have a peanut butter sandwich.
That's good stuff.
It's a good sandwich.
It is.
It doesn't get enough credit, I don't feel like. But whenever people talk about sandwiches, they're always talking about the meats and the condiments and the lettuce, but they never talk about the peanut butter sandwich.
Do you know I treat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like a dessert item because they're just sweet to me. So I don't eat them as a meal because I can't eat them with anything else. I don't like them with chips. I don't like them with anything. I just like them by themselves. So I treat it like a dessert treat. And I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich a couple of weeks ago for the first time in probably 6 months. I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich maybe twice a year. Don't know why. That's just what I do. And it was just wonderful. I forgot that combination is. There's a reason why it's so famous, and it was unbelievable, Jacob.
I used to pack them for lunches when I used to go down to Georgia State. I would just make a peanut butter sandwich and put it in a bag.
That's a classic school meal to have.
And it's not a bad meal by any means.
No, definitely not. But speaking of the peanut butter, I was watching a YouTube video, and I went to pick up my phone to go grab something like a napkin or something, and it slipped out of my hand and landed in the peanut butter. And there was so much peanut butter that not only did it get completely covered in peanut butter, but the peanut butter exploded everywhere. That entire, can you smell the back of it?
Yeah.
You can smell it? I washed
Barely.
it rigorously.
You can
rigorously.
smell it.
But all of this was brown, covered in peanut. And I was like, oh, no! And I was so upset because it ruined my waffle, too. I was like, I have to make a new waffle.
You can't eat that waffle. Your phone's been in so many...
Yeah, my phone's
your hands have been
disgusting.
everywhere.
So I was like, I definitely have to make a new waffle. Not only had to make a new waffle, I had to spend like 10 minutes cleaning all the peanut butter off it. It was pretty funny, but that was the excitement from my week, Jacob. But before we get into our news, which there are some exciting things to discuss this week. Very exciting, actually. I'm thrilled to talk about them with you. Yeah. Like we said, this week is Thanksgiving for us Americans. Now, those of you around the world, if I'm not mistaken, not everyone celebrates Thanksgiving. I know it's a United States holiday. But I'd love to ask you and our viewers just one thing, someone or something you're thankful for, Jacob.
You're asking me?
Yes. Someone or something.
I'm thankful for this channel.
Okay.
Do I need a reason why?
You don't have to.
No, I'll give a reason.
Okay.
I don't know. I just enjoy doing this. It gives me I know we don't make anything from this. It's just something we do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I always look forward to it every weekend or every weekday when we come over and, we record our videos and whatnot. Because, I love playing video games and other people getting to see us play video games or talk about them. I don't know. Makes me feel happy. That makes sense.
Totally.
What are you thankful for?
I could name 1,000 things, like I'm sure most of us could, but specifically, let me think. Obviously I'm thankful for the obvious ones, like my family, my friends, this channel.
Just
definitely.
Say one thing.
Yeah, but those are all the little things. But I think as of recently, I'm always thankful for this. It's very important. It is the foundation of my life. But I'm thankful for the love of God, because specifically this nation has just been in shambles for the last year and a half, essentially, mostly due to politics and everything, and everyone's just kind of broken up, and there's so much division and hate going around in this nation. And now I'm assuming things will settle down once, this presidency takes off and things hopefully get back to normal. But just not even on the online issue, but even in person, most places I go, just people are always at each other's throats and everything. And I'm thankful for the love of God in the sense that in Christ we have an assurance that He's in control. I know that's such a generic thing to say as a Christian, but knowing that wholeheartedly, I'm always at peace because of that. Regardless of how much hate is going around, regardless of the division, I know that everything in the end is under His control and that we can put our faith in Him. And that's something that I can't imagine living without. So I'm incredibly thankful for that. I'm being more vocal about it than I normally am just because of all of the crap that's been going on in this country. The world's in a mess too for the most part. Not entirely, but, things have been shaky, but I'm just thankful to know that everything's going to be just fine. It's very...
well, did you know that in the end it doesn't even matter?
Exactly. Great Linkin Park song. But I appreciate you sharing, Jacob. I love Thanksgiving. I love getting together with family and friends and celebrating just life in general. And Thanksgiving food's okay. It's not my favorite thing, but...
What's better than Thanksgiving food?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Probably.
But it's Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, that's right.
It's great.
I'm not a big turkey fan, believe it or not. Thanksgiving turkey. I'm more of a ham man myself. I'd like to have a nice ham over a turkey. I think turkey meat's most of the time's a little too dry. I usually pour gravy all over it.
You ever had a honey-baked turkey?
I've had a honey-baked ham.
Honey-baked turkey is surprisingly very good. I like it more than ham.
I like turkey swimming in gravy because I think turkey meat is just too dry.
I prefer turkey. I always have over ham.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what. I think we're having both this year. My dad's smoking them.
Nice.
I think so. This is the first year that, well, it's not the first, but it's my uncle is going to be out of town, and he usually does the cooking, and he's not going to be back till like the day before Thanksgiving, but he usually cooks the meat, like he preps it the day before and stuff. So we're actually doing the cooking this time.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, so we'll see how it turns out. But
Cool.
My dad's a good cook, so
nice.
Yeah. I'll update you how the food turned out.
No, I'm excited to hear about it, Jacob. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Every meal your family creates.
We do have good meals over at the Alka house.
You do. All the pictures I've seen really excite me.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'll get to share a meal with you at your house one day.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe when I bring you home as my boyfriend.
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for you to build up the confidence to reveal me to your family.
Yeah.
It's been too long. Brings us to our news, Jacob. You ready to dive in?
Let's go.
Story number 1, Jacob, comes from Allegra Frank of Polygon. Quote, Persona 5 won't launch until April. Until April 4th, Atlas announced Wednesday. The publisher revealed that the delay during a live stream, which also saw the debut of the first English language gameplay of the upcoming role-playing game. Originally set for February 14th, 2017, Persona 5 won't make it onto PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 stateside for another several weeks. That's in spite of the fact that Japanese fans have had their hands on the game since mid-September. To compensate for the later release date, Atlas will receive Japanese audio alongside the international release. It will be available as a free downloadable content according to a post on the PlayStation blog. The English language version was originally going to launch without Japanese vocal options, so this alteration should appease some otherwise disappointed fans, end quote. How do you feel about that, Jacob?
Let me ask you,
okay,
Garrett Drake, player of Persona 4, fan of the series, I'm assuming.
Oh, well, fan of the fourth one for the 25 hours I played.
Fan of the number 4.
Okay.
How do you feel about the delay?
I'm not disappointed. I'm sure there's probably most PlayStation fans.
Yes, as a PlayStation fan, are you relieved?
I would say more relieved than upset because I can wait on Persona because there's no doubt going to be awesome. I've only played the fourth one, and I know if that's the starting point, it can only go up from there. So I'm very excited in that sense. And like I said, I've only played the fourth one for 25 hours and barely scratched the surface of it playing it that much. So it's going to be awesome. Not worried about it. In several weeks is not a long time. So
personally, I'm not affected at all, but I'll probably play it, to be honest, because it looks good.
I think it will be. No, that's if Mass Effect doesn't come out in March. If it does...
I'm calling that now. It's definitely end of next year.
What, Mass Effect?
Yeah, there's no way that game comes out in March. No way.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to call it yet. I don't have enough confidence to make a decision. But
I'm always right.
Something deep within me saying it's going to be delayed, but I'm still on edge about it. But Persona, I think it's good. I think all of us are on the same page when we say it's great because originally Horizon was coming out and then shortly after Persona. So now we have plenty of time to play Horizon on PlayStation 4, and I'm very excited about that game.
I think you misspoke. You meant to say PlayStation 4 Pro.
Oh, yeah, specifically Pro.
Yes.
I mean, to me, it's just another PlayStation, but if you want to get specific, it is the Pro.
Hey, you bought it, so you better make sure you talk about it.
I am. The best looking game I've seen on the Pro so far, and Preston showed me the Horizon 4K gameplay from the Pro reveal. It looked unreal. I was blown away that it was running on a PlayStation 4 Pro, but I was like, that looks unbelievable. I can't wait to experience that.
We'll see if there's any frame rate dips.
Yeah, now, I hope they do the option thing. We're like, hey, 1080p 60 frames or 4K at 30. I would love that option in every Pro game from here on out, or every Pro compatible game. But yeah, like we said, Persona 5 isn't a big deal. It's going to be awesome, I'm sure. And I look forward to playing it upon its release. The next one comes from nerdmuch.com, our old friends at Nerdmuch. It's been a while. It comes from Caroline Nelson. Quote, about 2 weeks ago, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists went on strike to protest how game publishers are handling voice acting contracts since they feel that the actors deserve some residual income from working on immensely successful games. This means developers may face delays in game releases. However, not all the news to come out of this is bad. Possible upcoming titles of games impacted are starting to get released, including rumors of a Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game, as well as Call of Duty Lethal Combat, which has also been referred to as Call of Duty Stronghold. There is speculation that the game will be set during the Vietnam War. This would make sense since before the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Sledgehammer canceled a Call of Duty-like game that would show a third-person perspective during the Vietnam War. However, Infinity Ward offered to let them in on the franchise, canceling this project and beginning Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. However, they mentioned that the game would have taken place in dense forests of Cambodia, end quote.
It's a holiday in Cambodia.
That's great, Jacob.
That's great, Jacob.
I admire that tune. I think the title Lethal Warfare kind of sounds cool. It sounds very stealthy. But now I doubt this is going to happen now, but if it were to take place in Vietnam, they already did that with Black Ops 1. Why would you do that again? And Black Ops is essentially like the stealth version of like a normal assault team, I guess.
Yeah.
They're more stealthy. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting whether or not Sledgehammer continues with Advanced Warfare. I don't think they should at all.
No,
because
please don't.
I mean, you got to take a step back and look at... Now, Black Ops 3 was well received, and Infinite Warfare, for the most part,
Advanced Warfare's multiplayer is the worst multiplayer I've played.
Worse than Ghosts?
Yes.
Okay.
Ghost wasn't bad. It was at least it was boots on the ground.
That's true.
You know, that's what I missed.
I didn't hate Advanced Warfare, but it was definitely my least favorite out of all of them in the past several years. But I hope it's boots on the ground, whatever they do. I don't know if they will, though, because Call of Duty really seems to be in the trend of running on walls and boosting around, which is fine. I thought Infinite Warfare's, like we've said this countless times, Infinite Warfare's campaign was phenomenal. On a campaign standpoint, I hope that not Advanced Warfare, but Sledgehammer can bring a campaign of that caliber to Call of Duty next year.
I mean, they had Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he's dead now.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
At least I assume he died falling off a building into flames. That would probably kill most men. But he is Kevin Spacey, so I wouldn't be surprised if he found a way to survive.
Maybe look at like Zach Galifianakis this time.
That would be funny. You know who I'd like to see? This is so random. I'd love to see Steve Carell as a Call of Duty villain. Have you ever seen Steve Carell in a serious role? I've seen him in a few serious roles, and he's very good. Now, there is that part of me that still sees him as Michael Scott, of course. One of the best characters in television history. Probably the best character in television history.
I always see him as the 40-year-old virgin.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
see, I've seen that movie, but I don't typically think of him as that. But I do see him as a comedic actor, but he does have drama chops in him for sure. I think that'd be just kind of weird and fun. But they seem to be on the trend of celebrities playing the villains in these games. Who would you like to see as a villain in a Call of Duty game?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
I would like to see... that's hard. Maybe Guy Pearce. I could see Guy Pearce in a Call of Duty game. I don't know. You could really throw anyone in there. Give me Loki. Loki?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Tom Hiddleston would be awesome.
Yeah. He looks good in the new Kong movie.
He does.
He's not the villain, but...
You saying he's a good-looking man?
Yeah, he is an attractive man.
He's a very attractive man. I'd date him if he'd let me.
Yeah?
Probably, yeah. If he was like, hey, man, you want to date me? I'd be like, yeah.
Could I date you if you let me?
Oh, I'm not Loki. I can't offer you anything.
Well, you have the hair like Loki?
Well, sort of. I think he has better hair than I do. But,
he does.
You know, I can strive for that.
Right.
Yeah, you should throw any celebrity into a villain role of Call of Duty. I'm excited to see who Sledgehammer throws in there. But yeah, Lethal Warfare, the Forests of Cambodia sounds kind of cool. I don't know what they'll do if they're going to continue with Advanced Warfare or not. Me personally, I hope they don't. Or if they do, they try to do something different with it. I don't know, but I've had enough of the future stuff. And I loved Infinite Warfare's campaign, but I've had enough of the future stuff. But moving on, Jacob, Telltale's Batman Episode 4, Guardian of Gotham. The trailer was released this week. Now, I told you when you were leaning over my shoulder in your car, I said, Jacob, don't watch this. It's going to spoil it for you. You're like, oh. I was like, but.
I was still listening.
Yes, the trailer revealed something that is not a spoiler because everyone knows that this person exists in Batman's world. What would have been spoiled is everything leading up to this point for me. I don't want that spoiled for you because it's one of the more interesting original Batman stories I've played and experienced. But the Joker was revealed in this trailer.
He hasn't been revealed yet.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, he's making his debut in episode 4. I'm not going to.
How many episodes are there going to be?
7 or 8, I think.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. I could be totally wrong, but I could have sworn I read that recently. But, excuse me, I burped. Sorry. Yeah, the Joker's revealed, and I'm not going to say where he's revealed or how he's revealed because that will spoil it for you and everyone else who hasn't played it. But I think that's exciting. I'm excited to see whoever's playing the Joker. He sounds like he's going to be fine. You only get a glimpse of his laugh, and I think he talks for like 2 seconds. But it's funny because Troy Baker's played virtually every character in every game ever for the last 10 years, it seems like.
Is he playing Joker again?
No,
he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. It's funny because he played Joker in Arkham Origins, and now he's Batman in this. But I almost wish they'd be like, Troy, just do Joker and Batman, because I thought his Joker was great. Now, it was an imitation of Mark Hamill's Joker, but I thought it worked really well.
Who's doing Joker?
I don't know yet. I haven't read it. I'm sure I could find it online if I researched it.
I'm not that interested.
Yeah, I'm not interested either. I'm sure it's fine. I'm always open to other people playing Joker. Speaking of Joker, this is a side note. Have you watched any of the extended versions of Suicide Squad yet?
No, I heard they're good though.
Okay, well, now I don't know if this person was mistaken or if they're straight up lying or if this is the case, but I watched a video titled "Every Joker Scene from the Extended Cut of Suicide Squad." It was like 15 minutes long, and the only other scene that was in the movie was the scene that everyone's pretty much familiar with, is the scene where he and Harley are on the road, like the street underneath like that bridge or whatever, and they like have an argument about something. That scene was okay. It didn't blow my mind, but I did like I don't know. I can't decide if I like Jared Leto as a Joker or not. That's the thing. I know Jared Leto has the acting ability, but just maybe they're the studio's version of Joker that they're pushing for. I know Jared Leto played a part in creating that version of him as well, but the studio clearly had an idea of this Joker in mind, and he's having to kind of portray that Joker. I still don't know if I'm a huge fan of him. Maybe that's just the Heath Ledger in my heart that's still trying to hold on tight. Mm-hmm. But I'm always open to new Jokers. I don't think I've ever seen a bad version of the Joker before. So, but the only scene that was really extended was that, because I was entirely cut from the movie, and then it was a slightly longer scene of the part where he's kind of torturing Harley Quinn in the Arkham Asylum. That was slightly longer, not much more dialogue, and then every other scene was just Harley annoying people that they had cut from the movie. But that's all I saw of Joker. Now, maybe that person's just it made that title to get the views. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it than that. We'll find out. I don't know if I'm going to buy the movie on Blu-ray or not. I always wait to just watch it online. I've seen the extended cut of Batman all online. So.
Is that movie still not out yet?
Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe it just came out.
When did it come out? In August?
It would have had...
When did it come out in theaters?
Theaters? Yeah, it was August.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I don't know. I think it's out on Blu-ray now. These are the kind of things we should be informed of, but whatever. But I'm excited to see the rest of it online.
I guess it hasn't been that long.
A few months.
Yeah.
But what were we talking? Batman. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything else for you, but anyone who's played this Batman Telltale series, definitely either message me on PlayStation or Facebook or something, because I haven't talked to anyone about it except Preston. Now, me and Preston have some fun conversations about it, but I'm interested to know if anyone else is playing it. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes and you've never commented on our videos and you do play that and you're willing to talk about it, let's talk, because I like talking about Batman, Jacob. The next one, Titanfall. I just threw that paper off the table. Titanfall's a little uncertain, Jacob.
Do you need it?
No, I don't. So I thought this was an interesting story. Now, I condensed this drastically. It's a much longer interview, but I thought this was interesting to reiterate. So this comes from Tom Phillips of Eurogamer. Quote, despite EA's assurance it would stick by the franchise, Titanfall developer Respawn doesn't yet know if it will make another game. Respawn's sequel failed to even match the launch sales of its predecessor despite releasing on PlayStation 4 for the first time, as well as PC and Xbox One. Now, in an interview with Glixel, Respawn boss Vince Zampella has said he is unsure about the status of a third. Quote, we don't know yet, Zampella said. Titanfall 2 is a critically a huge success. We're really happy with all the reviews and the positive sentiment. Sales, it's too early to tell. At this point, an EA publicist pointed out that the publisher statement from an investor call this month said it was committed to the franchise. Quote, so whatever the F that means, Zampella added. So apparently EA and Respawn haven't been communicating a whole lot, but Vince says, like, whatever the F that means, if they say they're committed to it, because he did go on to say that he wasn't totally devastated by the launch window. He says that, like, according to EA, he said there was a good reason for it or something, but he also was pretty bitter about Infinite Warfare. He said, this came from a studio that I built, and a franchise that I built, and like, I this, I that, I that. And he was going on and on about something he was frustrated with Infinite Warfare, which I won't lie, I enjoyed Infinite Warfare's campaign more than Titanfall 2. I love Titanfall 2's campaign, but Infinite Warfare was more engaging to me. I really liked the characters in it. And most of this isn't that important, but most of the set piece moments are in my memory more than Titanfall, and I played both of them like back to back. But Titanfall 2 is a phenomenal game for those of you that haven't played it. I think all the reviews are justified because I've played through it entirely. Plenty of multiplayer as well. I haven't played as much multiplayer as I have as Battlefield, for example, but I've played probably 15, 20 matches of various game types in Titanfall and had a blast with it. I haven't been back in a while, but I don't know. I don't know if I would be devastated if they didn't make a third. How do you feel about it? We haven't even played the second one.
I don't care.
None at all. No. Do you think you'll ever play the second one?
The only reason I played the first one was because it was the only shooter to play besides Ghost when I had my Xbox.
Now, how come, just out of curiosity, you don't have to have a good reason, but
it's just not compelling. Like, I don't see why people are so interested in it. Like I understand like the Titan pilot relationship's kind of cool, but I don't know, just nothing about it gets me excited. Like, maybe it's just the Call of Duty fan in me that's like, if I'm going to play a shooter, I'm going to play Call of Duty. Because like, that's what everyone else plays.
You're just a bro, dude.
I don't know, just like, whenever I play Titanfall, I just feel like I should be playing something else, or I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I just don't feel like playing it.
Okay.
But I've heard good things about Titanfall 2. If anyone's interested at all at getting it, I've heard the campaign's good and the multiplayer is as good as the first one's was.
Mm-hmm.
And you should give it a shot if you're interested.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just not for me. I'd rather spend my time playing Overwatch or,
that's
Battlefield.
Right. To each his own, Jacob. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'd be devastated if there was not a Titanfall 3. I'm totally open to seeing what they would do with it, story-wise, specifically multiplayer. I mean, you can do whatever, but I enjoyed the story. Although simple, it was very fun. I'd be interested to see them tackle another campaign.
It just seems like the whole premise is too basic. I don't know why it doesn't appeal to me.
That's fine. You don't really have to have a reason.
I don't have a reason.
I mean, why is your favorite color blue?
Because
Just
it
because.
It looks good.
Yeah, exactly. See, some things you don't have explanations for. Like, why are we not in a relationship yet? There's no explanation for that.
Who's to say we aren't?
The next story comes from Eddie Mackey of GameSpot. Quote, Super Mario Run, Nintendo's first Mario smartphone game, will launch on December 15th, the publisher announced. Nintendo also confirmed the game's pricing structure. The initial download is free and lets you, quote, play elements of the game's 3 modes. If you want unlimited access to the 3 modes, you can pay $10. It remains to be seen if there will be any further microtransactions. The game works with any iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch that is running iOS 8 or newer. Additionally, Nintendo confirmed that the game will be available at launch in 151 countries and regions, localized for English, Japanese, German, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, Dutch, Russian, and traditional Chinese. That was a mouthful. Announced during the iPhone 7 reveal in September, Super Mario Run is an auto runner that can be played with one hand. Mario runs forward on his own, jumping over obstacles and enemies when the player taps the screen. You can use your other hand to eat a hamburger. Hear that, Jacob? Or a burrito.
That's incredible.
Or a candy bar, if you'd like. As mentioned, Super Mario Run has 3 modes, the first of which involves collecting coins. The second sees players taking on ghosts of other players to complete for high scores. As for the third mode, this lets players create their own mushroom kingdom using coins and toads collected in the other modes. It's not exactly clear how this works. Super Mario Run is Nintendo's second smartphone game following Miyamoto. At least 2 more games are coming, including those based on Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem franchises. End quote. I'm really excited about Super Mario Run. 1, I love Mario. It's funny I say I love Mario. I don't own a Nintendo console right now, but I grew up playing Mario relentlessly. I've gone on and said Super Mario World is one of my favorite games of all time. I almost bought that 3DS from Amazon with Super Mario World built into it. Almost bought it, but I have to save money. Can't be that stupid. But this is very exciting to me. I think it's also interesting. I know we discussed this previously a couple months ago, but it's cool that it's exclusive to iPhone. I mean, that's huge for Apple, I think.
For now, I think.
Yeah, at least for now. But just right out the gate, especially for diehard Mario fans that own smartphones, like, man, I wish I could play Super Mario Run.
Most people have iPhones.
Yeah.
So.
I've noticed that 95% of people I encounter have iPhones. Now, there are the Android users out there. I used to be one of them. But thankfully, I upgraded to Apple. I don't hate Android. It was fine. I never had any complaints. But Apple is just a supreme product.
I don't ever see myself not having an iPhone, or an Apple phone.
Yeah.
Because all my stuff is there. If I just left, I would have no music anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't leave.
Yeah, I recognize the fact there are great phones out there. I'm interested in I think it's the Pixel from Google. That looks like a pretty good phone. I haven't read any reviews about it or anything, but iPhone, I just love. It's simple, gets the job done. All of Apple's products have never failed me. So we'll see.
I forgot to say the digital sales for PlayStation products, all their digital sales, their games came out this week.
Okay.
That passed, and Titanfall 2 was number 9.
Yeah, you're right. You mentioned that.
I'm not the only one that didn't get it.
Yeah, of course.
But that's digitally, but I'm sure it's very reminiscent of total sales.
Of the physical sales as well, yeah. Yeah,
but
poor Respawn, man.
And it's definitely, I think, because of the launch date.
Yeah, at least they're aware that the critical reception has been phenomenal.
Right.
At least that's reassuring. Whereas No Man's Sky and Hello Games are like, everyone hates you and your game, and they're like, well, what do we do? So this is random, but I saw this video of someone reiterating news regarding Hello Games, and someone had hacked their Twitter. And
I saw that.
A tweet from Hello Games said, "No Man's Sky was a mistake." And people
thought it was serious.
An employee. Oh yeah. Well, some people thought it was serious, but they I don't think they've still discovered if it was either just a hack or a disgruntled employee. They don't know yet. But I think that is so funny. Regardless,
I saw one person quote the tweet like, "Wow, this brings so much delight."
Yeah.
What's going on in their studio? But yeah.
That's so funny, yeah. But at least for Respawn's sake, not everyone hates them. Everyone's like, man, that sucks. Your game was released at a bad time. But for those people that played it,
to be fair, you just can't compete with Battlefield and Call of Duty. Like those are two giant games.
They are.
And EA has two of them. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, what's the second one?
Titanfall and Battlefield. Like, why'd they release those two games?
Yeah,
1 week apart.
It makes no sense. Maybe they were just like, let's throw everything we can at Call of Duty. Whereas they would have been. If
they would have just left Battlefield, it probably would have won on its own.
I'm wondering if there's people that are both fans of Battlefield and Titanfall. They're like, man, I really want to play the new Titanfall. I'll play Battlefield later. Or I really like Titanfall, but I'd rather play Battlefield. Now, like, what if they split their audience between the two games?
They might have.
Like their idea might have been like, oh, everyone's going to pick up both of them. Whereas maybe they split it down the middle, and maybe one or the other could have. I don't think Titanfall would have outsold Call of Duty.
I don't know. Like, I'm not a business guy, but I feel like you would sell more games in total if you would just have had Battlefield this fall and then Titanfall this March or something.
That's what I think. I think if they just focused on if they really were determined to take down Call of Duty, I think Battlefield obviously had the biggest chance, but I think they might have damaged the sales a bit. Not to say Battlefield didn't sell well, but they might have degraded it a bit, releasing Titanfall a couple of weeks later. I don't know. So I don't know.
But as far as what is it,
Super Mario
Go?
Run. Mario Go. It's essentially Mario Go.
Super Mario Run.
Yeah.
I'm
totally downloading it.
I'll probably buy it.
Well, that's the thing. I say that my phone has no space on it whatsoever.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Maybe delete everything. I think I can't delete much. I have no pictures. I have one album on my phone. I have a bunch of work apps that I've used. Like I have a bunch of tedious stuff. Like I have a frequency analyzer for when I'm running sound. I have like a metronome on my phone. Like little musical apps that I have to use at work for certain things that take up space. I don't know.
Guess you're deleting social media.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to delete everything I use socially. So just to play Super Mario Run.
This game.
Yeah, I don't know how I used to fit Hearthstone on there. I think I've just acquired more apps since
You probably
then.
just only have room for one game.
That's my dream. I'm looking forward to the day that I can acquire a new phone, and I'm going to make sure when I go in there, I want the most. I know there's I think you have 128 gigs on an iPhone now. I think that's the highest. I don't know if I can afford that, but at least 64.
Yeah,
desperately need that.
I believe
it's an amazing thing. I mean, my girlfriend has like 2,000 pictures on her phone. I can barely have 2.
I have a ton as well.
I can't tell you how many times I've my dogs are doing something cute. I'm like, oh, I'm going to film them, and I come up, it's like, you can't record this video or take the picture because you have no space. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's just awful.
But I'm not a big mobile game guy.
Well, neither am I, but it's Mario.
Right.
In my eyes,
I'm not going to play it when I'm at home. I'm going to play it when I'm out.
On the go, yeah. Yeah, I'll probably play it while I'm at work, trying to look busy, like we talked about on Job Simulator. But yeah, if I can fit it on my phone, I'm going to play it. Gotcha. It's exciting. The next one comes from Jeffrey Matulef. I think it's Matulef.
Ooh.
Not sure which company, just had a name. Jeffrey Matulef, this is the Star Wars Battlefront Rogue One DLC. This is thrilling to me, Jacob. Star Wars Battlefront's final expansion, Rogue One Scarif, will launch on the 7th of December, 10 days ahead of Rogue One's 16th December theatrical premiere. The DLC adds 4 new maps, including the sandy tropical planet of Scarif, where Imperial troopers plow through the jungles in AT-ACTs. New playable characters include Jen Erso and Orson Krennic, who will be played by Felicity Jones and Ben Mendelsohn, respectively, in the film. Also launching on the 6th of December is Star Wars Battlefront's free PSVR exclusive add-on Rogue One X-Wing VR mission, which tasks players with dogfighting in an X-Wing. In the meantime, between now and the 20th of November, all maps and modes from the previous 3 Star Wars Battlefront expansions will be free, so long as you own the parent game. Players will earn quadruple scores this weekend, too, end quote. That's this weekend. Well, this is, as of when this podcast goes up, this is past weekend.
Sorry.
But until the 20th, it'll be too late by now. But today's the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. Today's the 18th, so
yes.
It sucks because I actually sold Battlefront on Xbox One recently to purchase some other game. So I might, if all the DLC for the past 3 games is free and this DLC's coming, I'm totally going to pick up Battlefront again on PS4 this time. It was fine on Xbox, but and I'm never a graphics guy, but it looked significantly different on PlayStation to me than it did on Xbox. But I say that, and all of our friends played on Xbox, but no one plays the game at all anymore.
Yeah,
but
I'm not going to do it, but it sounds fun.
No, I'd I mean, obviously I want to do the PSVR add-on, but aside from that, the Rogue One DLC, just because I'm really excited for Rogue One and fighting on Scarif, that beach planet just looks cool. I would love to experience that.
I'm definitely going to check out some gameplay, because it's...
Certainly.
I love the look of that planet and the trailers.
Yes, I think I'd be satisfied just playing that game for an hour and a half or so on the beach mission. Be like, all right, cool, I'm excited for Rogue One.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty awesome that Rogue One DLC is coming. This will probably be the last, if I had to guess, the last DLC for that game until the next one.
I wonder how many people still play that game online.
I'm wondering that. That's the thing. That game is amazing in little ways. Like graphically, by far one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
I just feel like there was no reason to keep playing.
Yeah, the gameplay was just
to pursue.
Yeah, the gameplay was just too simple. If they could bring sort of the progression of Battlefield to Star Wars somehow, like it was similar, but not. Battlefield had a little more to it than that. But I mean, they never did this. But I don't know how you do it in Star Wars, but I'd love to add attachments to my blaster. I just think that'd be cool. I mean, why not? Just do it. Attachments to my guns. I don't know.
It is a shooter.
I'm not a developer. We talked about the vignettes coming to Battlefront. I think that'd be amazing. They have to do that. If they don't, it's going to be disappointing. Some sort of campaign. I think they're well aware of that.
Just give us a campaign.
Yeah, but Rogue One sounds exciting. Jacob, this brings us to our main topic of the show. This is very exciting. The Game Awards 2016 will be airing on December 1st. All the nominees have been revealed for all of the respective categories, and we're going to go through all of them and predict who's going to win each category. This is very exciting. All of this news comes from Garrett Holfish of nerdmuch.com. Huge thanks to Nerdmuch. They're a phenomenal news source. I get a lot of our news from...
So you didn't decide to go to the Game Awards, their main page? You just decided to go to Nerdmuch?
The thing, I saw Nerdmuch's link to this before anyone else reported it. So Nerdmuch is on top of things, and huge shout out to them.
Well, do you follow Jeff Keighley?
No, I don't.
Well, that's why.
Well, yeah, well, Jeff's a
I'm
great
not
guy,
bashing
I'm sure.
you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But
ow, my wrist.
You okay?
Yeah, I just had a pain.
Oh, Jacob.
I'm all right now.
Okay.
It's like
I can massage it for you if you want.
Oh, it's back. Ow.
What'd you do?
I don't know. It just hurts.
Well, maybe I can stroke it later.
Just keep talking.
If it still hurts in an hour, I'll take care of it. But no, but like I said, Nerdmuch, it's a much smaller website. It's not like an IGN or a GameSpot, but amazing source of news. I go there a lot for movie, games, books, TV, what have you. So this comes all from Nerdmuch, and the first category of the Game Awards 2016 is, of course, Game of the Year, Jacob. The nominees are...
Why don't we do that last?
I mean, I can. It's just listed first.
Last.
Okay, we'll do it last. So the next section is Best Game Direction. The nominees are Blizzard, DICE... Oh, I'll say which game too. Blizzard for Overwatch, obviously. DICE for Battlefield 1. id Software for Doom. Naughty Dog for Uncharted 4. And Respawn for Titanfall 2. This is Best Game Direction. If it helps you to visualize it, you can look at the list too. So again, Blizzard, DICE, id Software, Naughty Dog, Respawn. I'm going to go ahead and say...
That's so hard, dude.
It's Naughty Dog for sure.
Game Direction.
Yeah, because that game plays like a movie. It's incredibly cinematic. And all these games... I can vouch for are incredible games. But as far as direction goes, you could also argue the same for Overwatch because that's the thing. It is hard.
I'm arguing for Battlefield.
Now I know direction isn't entirely in the sense of like the narrative. It's like just every game has a creative
I say Battlefield
director.
just because it's World War I, and that's such an interesting direction to go in.
Okay. Because I know direction is more than just
right.
the narrative part. It's all about directing. The creative director kind of directs the entire team in all of the fields. Now, for an entire package, I have to go with Naughty Dog. I mean, I know that's so generic, but I mean, I wasn't into Uncharted's multiplayer, but there's no denying the fact that it was developed incredibly well.
I think you can make an argument for any of them. That's why they're nominees.
I mean,
Doom
is incredible too. I mean, even though someone
it's probably going to be Naughty Dog.
Yeah, some would argue that Doom doesn't have a story, but it does. It's just simple, but.
See, that's what makes it unique, though, is that it's the way it is. Like It's so like arcadey and fast paced and just blowing shit up.
That's the thing, though. All of these games are incredible. I mean, it's been an amazing year for games overall, but I think we're going to go with, for best game direction, Naughty Dog. If you guys are really bored and want to really tune on to this, if you can remember which sections we discuss and just list all of your nominations that who you think are going to win, that'd be really fun too. I'd love to discuss it with you guys, or just a specific section that stands out to you that you'd like to talk about.
Maybe we should record what we say and see which ones we get right.
Okay, I mean, we can always refer to this episode, unless you want to write it down.
I'll write it down.
Okay.
So, game direction.
Yeah, game direction, we're choosing Naughty Dog. So the next one is Best Narrative. Included in the list are Firewatch from Campo Santo, Inside from Play Dead, Mafia 3 from Hangar 13, Oxenfree from Night School Studio, and Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
Overwatch.
Best narrative?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I think it's going to be...
It's Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Yeah. Mafia 3 was also written very well. Now, I haven't played Inside. It's an indie game, obviously, but I've heard it's incredible.
Yeah. I really should play Inside. I've
yeah.
heard so many good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't had time.
Same with me, yeah. I'm going to make an effort to play it before December 1st, I think, because I'd really like to have an understanding of that game going into the Game Awards, because I've heard just countless people talking about how great it is. Firewatch was also really impressive. I don't want to undermine that game, although it was an indie and it didn't run very well. I didn't love the ending. I thought it was good. I just didn't love it. I thought that game was written very well. So best narrative, I think Firewatch is a strong contender, but I think it will no doubt be Uncharted again. They're probably going to wipe the floor with most of these people. So best narrative, we're going with Naughty Dog with Uncharted 4. I don't want to go too fast for you, Jacob.
You're fine.
So best narrative, Naughty Dog. So the next one is best art direction. We got Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, and Uncharted 4.
I could see this going to Abzu or Inside.
I think so too. That's the thing. I love the way Overwatch looks too, but
I don't think it's unique per se though. Like not saying that Abzu or Inside are, but just they're different. Like Inside's very dark, and Abzu's it's kind of underwater. It's blue and fishy.
Abzu is definitely beautiful looking, very unique art style indeed. The thing about Overwatch is that, I mean, this is also because one, it's a Blizzard game, two, I played a crap ton of Overwatch, but Overwatch is so memorable to me.
There is something to say about it being a Blizzard game and that, everything Blizzard makes looks nice.
Yeah, I think you're onto something though with Abzu. I get the feeling that might actually win Best Art Direction. Uncharted 4 just almost looks photorealistic at this point. So
what do we want to come to agree? What do we think is going to win? I'm saying Inside.
You're going to say Inside? I want to say Abzu. I mean, you can put
Let's
down...
flip a coin.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Heads...
I mean, you can write down both of them if you want.
No.
Okay.
You flip it. Heads is Inside.
Okay. Oh. It landed on heads. It landed on heads.
Floor does not count. Flip it.
All right, here we go. I don't want it to land in the fire. Hold on.
The fire that's non-existent now.
Oh yeah, I mean the hot wax. I feel like Two-Face.
Oh my gosh.
I got this. I'm gonna land it this time. There we go. Oh.
Ooh.
Tails.
All right, it's Abzu.
Abzu it is. I really do feel like it might be Abzu. I'm gonna stick to that.
Are you gonna play that game?
Probably not. I almost did, but I decided not to at the last minute. The next one is Best Music / Sound Design. Now, me personally, coming from an audio background, I think music and sound design should be separate, but whatever. Cram them into one. First one's Battlefield 1, Doom, Inside, Res Infinite, and Thumper.
Well, I haven't played all these games either, but...
I've played the demo of Res Infinite. I don't think I've touched Thumper. I have not played Inside, obviously.
I'm going to say Battlefield.
Between Battlefield 1 and Doom. Now, this is why I wish they were separate. Hear me out on this. The best music, and this is true, honestly, just my opinion. This may not be fact to someone, but I think the music in Doom is incredible. It is so freaking awesome. It's one of the best video game soundtracks that I've ever heard. And that's very subjective because I'm just a huge fan of metal, and the whole game is heavy metal the whole time. You feel incredibly badass.
Yeah, see, I think music wins Doom. Or Doom wins music, but sound design goes to Battlefield.
Oh, hands down.
That's weird why they're combined like this.
Yeah, that's the thing about DICE is that I think their sound design is unbelievable. Now, there's great sound design in most shooters these days, but Battlefield specifically, that scale is amazing. To hear like a plane flying, and I wear those PlayStation Gold headphones, I can hear like the bombers flying over my head, and it really feels like they're above me, and then I can hear a tank shooting off in the distance to like
your bullets flying over your head.
Exactly. I mean, it's very I hate to say engaging all the time, but it is engaging.
Immersive.
Immersive, yeah. You feel very immersed. That's why every time I play that multiplayer, that's why it's so much fun, because sound design can be overlooked by a lot of people, but sound design plays a huge role in bringing that game to life, and I think by far that's why I wish they were separate, because sound design is totally different from music.
So who do you think wins though?
Battlefield 1 for sure. Again, I haven't played Inside. I mean, Inside might have a lot of creepy ambiance going on when you're playing that game. I don't know. I haven't played it. My opinion might change once I play it before December 1st.
I haven't played it, so we don't really have an opinion.
Yeah, but we're going with Battlefield 1 for sound design. Again, if they separated it with music, I'd go with Doom because it was amazing. And I watched the documentary of the guy who wrote and produced all the music for the game. It was unbelievable how he did it. Next section, best performance. We got Alex Hernandez as Lincoln Clay in Mafia 3. Sissy Jones as Delilah in Firewatch. Emily Rose as Elena in Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Nolan North as Nathan Drake in Uncharted 4. Rich Sommer as Henry in Firewatch. Or Troy Baker as Sam Drake in Uncharted 4.
I'm saying Elena.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really loved her in that game.
I think just because of Uncharted's lineage and Nolan North as a successful voice actor, they're going to go with Nolan North for sure.
Yeah, I was just saying what my personal one was. I think Nolan North does win.
Okay.
Because it is the last Uncharted game.
I think Alex Hernandez really did a great job as Lincoln Clay as well. We didn't finish that game, but everything I saw, I thought it was great. The narrative was solid in that game.
It'd be weird to give them an award for that game, though.
It would.
I feel like.
Plus, he was mostly just angry the whole game. I just remember him being pissed off constantly. But, I mean, he had some more intimate moments with his close friends and everything, but I think I'm going to go with Nolan North in this one. Not to undermine, Troy Baker was great as Sam. I mean, Rich Sommer, and between Delilah and Henry and Firewatch, I mean, they were both really great characters as well. I totally bought into their chemistry. So, those are solid contenders, but I think it's safe to say Nolan North is going to win Best Performance at the 2016
Uncharted
Game
4
Awards.
with 3 performance nominations.
I know.
It's crazy.
I think Uncharted 4 is going to win mostly everything. I should say I hate to say because it's an amazing game. I just feel bad for all the other contenders because Uncharted 4 is
I'd be surprised if they didn't win at least 4 or 5 awards.
At least, yeah. The next one's, now I don't understand this at all. Games for Impact. You know what that means?
Maybe that gives you the feels.
I don't know. Then I read I haven't played any of these, by the way. Now, this is Games for Impact. 1979 Revolution, Block Hood, Orwell.
Let's skip this one.
Sea Hero Quest, or That Dragon Cancer. I'm going to say That Dragon Cancer because it's the only one I've heard of.
I haven't heard of any of these.
I've heard of That Dragon Cancer.
All indie games?
Yeah, I think so. I think. I've heard of Orwell as well, and Sea Hero Quest.
Are these even new games? Like, are they impactful for their legacies?
I think it's for 2016. Now, I know That Dragon Cancer I've seen multiple Let's Plays of, so I'm going to just say that one because I know what it is. So we're going to go with That Dragon Cancer for Games for Impact, whatever that means. The next one, Best Indie Game. I've only played 1.5 of these. 1.25, I should say. Firewatch, Hyper Light Drifter, Inside, Stardew Valley, and The Witness.
I think this will go to Inside.
I think it's going to get Inside as well. Only because out of all these games that I've only played Firewatch, and I played about half an hour of The Witness. The Witness wasn't for me. That was that puzzle game on that open world, or open island, I should say.
I could see The Witness winning, though.
Me too. I was going to say from an artsy critical standpoint, I can see where people would be like, The Witness is very, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I'm not that smart, but I feel like The Witness could win just because it's so weird. But Firewatch is great. Really like that. I know we all liked that one. Hyper Light Drifter I've also heard is pretty good. But I've heard the most praise for Inside, so we're going to go with Inside on this one. Best Handheld Game.
I was about to write Best Handful.
Best Handheld Game. Clash Royale, Fire Emblem Fates, Monster Hunter Generations, Pokemon Go, and Severed. It's probably going to be Severed.
I really don't know. I could see Go winning for its, popularity. I could see
I don't think
Clash Royale winning because everyone plays it. I don't know, dude. I don't play any of these games.
I haven't played any of them except Pokemon Go. I've heard of all of them, but I've heard the most about Severed. I've heard a lot of people praise that game.
I bet you Monster Hunter will win.
You think so?
I've heard.
Are we going to flip another coin?
Yeah.
Okay, Severed and Monster Hunter Generations. Here we go, Jacob.
Tails is.
I'm trying to remember the quotes from Two-Face in Batman Forever. Ooh, it's heads. What did you pick?
Monster Hunter Generations.
All right, that's not going to win, but whatever, Jacob. We'll go with it. Next one. Best VR game. Batman Arkham VR, Eve Valkyrie, Job Simulator, Res Infinite, or Thumper. I've only played the demo of Res, haven't played Thumper.
Job Simulator.
You think that's going to win?
No, Batman Arkham VR.
Batman Arkham VR is going to win, but we just played Job Simulator for the first time this past week, and I was blown away at how much fun I had with that. I thought it was incredible. Very excited to play more of that, but I think Batman VR has definitely been the best VR experience I've had so far.
Still haven't played it.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to play it at some point. It's so good.
It's okay.
It's great. But yeah, Batman, I think it's safe to say that's going to win. Best action game. Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears of
Battlefield
War
1's a
4.
shooter.
I don't think they have a shooter category.
I'm just saying it's a shooter. It's not an action game.
Most all of these are shooters.
That's funny.
So, Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears of War 4, Overwatch, or Titanfall 2. This is a hard category.
What's an action game? Like, these are all these shooters?
All of them except, Gears is arguably, it's a third-person shooter. Just pretend it says shooter. Just pretend it says shooter.
Well,
now, we are going to have our own episode where we discuss all of the shooters in depth for 2016. We're going to keep it brief here because we're going to do an episode dedicated to that.
I'm going to be honest, I think you have to go Overwatch because it does something different than all these other games.
I know, it's so hard, though, because all of these are phenomenal.
Like Battlefield 1 is the only other... I don't know.
Battlefield 1 is so good, too, though. And I love Overwatch, but
I don't think Gears 4 wins.
I don't think it will either.
At all.
Gears 4
I don't think Titanfall 2 does either.
Yeah, I think it's between... And Doom is phenomenal, but I think it's between Battlefield 1 and Overwatch. I want to say Overwatch because you're right. It is something that we haven't had any...
Especially on console.
Yeah,
coming from a console background, you have Team Fortress 2. It's very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Overwatch wins, but I could see Battlefield also winning.
Me too, man. Oh man,
we're saying Overwatch.
Let's go
because I like Overwatch.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to see Overwatch win that one. Best action adventure game: Dishonored 2, Hitman, Hyper Light Drifter, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted 4. I think it's easy to say that's going to be Uncharted 4. But
I love Ratchet and Clank.
Me too, man. I love that game.
I wish that would win an award, but I don't see it anywhere else on the nominations. Well, it's down here for family game. It's not going to win that.
No, well, maybe probably not.
Lego. No, I don't know what'll win that. Maybe it will.
I've heard Dragon Quest Builders is really good, but we'll get there. Yeah, I don't think Dishonored 2 will win it. I mean, I've played, like I said, I haven't played much of Dishonored 2, but heard people raving about that game as well. I don't know, but I think Uncharted 4 is just so good that it's almost impossible for it to not win that category. Best RPG, this is a fun one. Dark Souls 3, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine DLC, World of Warcraft Legion, or Xenoblade Chronicles 10.
What? MMO DLC.
Well, I mean, they are RPG-ish in a sense. I mean, I know World of Warcraft is an MMO, but it has RPG elements in it.
I guess. I don't like how these are laid out.
I'm tempted, this might sound crazy, but I'm tempted to say Blood and Wine. That was one of the best pieces of DLC I've ever played.
It was great. Do you think it's because it's a DLC, do you think it would be knocked for that?
I think maybe yes, but that's the thing. It was almost a game in itself because of the length and the quality of it. Dark Souls 3 I loved, but I don't know if that'll win. Deus Ex is great too.
Won't win. I don't see any scenario where that wins.
This sounds idiotic to some people, I'm sure, but I don't think Deus Ex will win purely because the dialogue was never synced up to the character models. I think that alone disqualifies it. Not to say, because that game is incredible, and I know Preston, I loved it, but Preston loved it a lot more than I did.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Witcher wins.
I think it will.
Like, I don't know. I don't think enough people like Dark Souls for it to win an award.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say Blood and Wine is going to win.
It was nominated for a Game of the Year, or no, that was Bloodborne.
Yeah, it was Bloodborne. Yeah, Dark Souls is not on the Game of the Year list.
Dude.
It's going to be Blood and Wine. We're calling it Blood and Wine.
All right.
We might be crazy.
I get maybe Dark Souls 3 though. I don't know. Let's do Blood and Wine.
Okay. I love Dark Souls 3, but I think Blood and Wine is going to take the cake on that one. Best fighting game. Never played any of these either. Killer Instinct Season 3. King of Fighters, was that 14 it looks like? Pokken Tournament. Street Fighter 5. We're going to say Street Fighter 5 because it's a PlayStation exclusive and it's the only one I've seen gameplay of. Next one's Best Strategy Game. I haven't played any of these either. There's one specifically that I'm still wanting to play when I get around to it. Civilization 6, Fire Emblem Fates, The Banner Saga 2, Total War, Warhammer, XCOM 2. It's going to be Civilization 6. Yeah.
Either that or XCOM 2.
Mm-hmm. Now, XCOM 2 was out previously on PC, obviously, but it did release on PlayStation this year. Like I said, I know Preston thinks I'm joking when I say this, but I totally want to play XCOM 2. And
I still don't understand why you want to play a strategy.
I've never been into strategy games, but when I watched a guy play it for like an hour on a Let's Play one time. I was like, this looks so fun to me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a little different than most strategy games, but I'm still interested in playing that when I get around to it. Next one's Best Family Game. Dragon Quest Builders, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, Pokemon Go, Ratchet and Clank, and Skylanders Imaginators.
So what do you mean by what does it mean by best family game? Is like some of your family sits around and everyone plays?
I would assume
is it just like
so.
kid friendly?
Maybe kid friendly. I don't know.
I feel like that's what it means.
I've heard a lot of
because none of these games you would sit around with people and play.
Well, you and I sat around and played Lego Star Wars.
Well, not together.
That's did what a little bit for the Let's Plays.
You can make the argument with Pokemon Go. You're with that's with people.
I think it might be Pokemon Go.
Think so?
I think it might, because it was, when they say best family game, I know it wasn't just exclusive to families, but the whole world played that for a couple of weeks. I think it's going to be Pokemon Go. Now, I've heard amazing things about Dragon Quest Builders, but I haven't played it myself, so I can't really vouch for that.
I'm confused at that
category.
Yeah.
As am I.
But
Ratchet and Clank, man, I hope it gets some love. Love Ratchet and Clank. Best sports/racing game. FIFA 17, Forza Horizon 3, MLB The Show 16, NBA 2K17, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2017.
It's going to be NBA 2K17.
I think so, too.
It always wins the sports stuff, I feel like.
It's always critically very well
Maybe
received.
Forza? Maybe.
I haven't heard a whole lot about Forza, though. Then again, I don't keep up with a whole lot of Xbox stuff, but I mean, I keep up with the news as a whole, and I haven't heard a whole lot about Horizon. But
running out of room here.
Yeah, I have heard about. I heard a lot about 2K17. I've actually played it. We played that demo, I think, at Elliot's a couple months ago, didn't we?
I think.
Yeah, we did. Or maybe it was FIFA, one of the two. We did play FIFA 17 a good bit too, though.
Yeah. That's a good game.
Yep. So the last category before Game of the Year, Best Multiplayer. Now, this is a big category as well. Battlefield 1, Gears of War 4, Overcooked, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2. This is tough for multiple reasons. Battlefield 1's multiplayer is amazing. Every time I play it, I love it. But Overwatch is also phenomenal. I'm using amazing and phenomenal and ridiculous words like that a lot tonight.
People love Titanfall too, though.
Yes. And Overcooked, I've heard, is great. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay, and it looks like so much fun. I feel like we could do a really great Let's Play of Overcooked one day.
I don't see a scenario where... I mean, I guess I could see it winning. I don't know.
I think it's going to come down to Battlefield and Overwatch.
I think Battlefield wins... What did we say Overwatch won?
Best...
Action?
Yeah, best action.
I think one's going to win that one and one's going to win the other. And I think Battlefield wins.
I think it is. I think it's going to as well.
Maybe. I don't know, dude.
Let's go with Battlefield. I
kind of want to reverse the two.
You want to?
I think Overwatch will win multiplayer.
That's the thing, though. Battlefield's known for its multiplayer, and it's so good.
It's just Call of Duty. It's not even nominated.
That's true. Of course, like we said, it might have come out a little too late. I don't even think it would be in much.
Do you mind if I reverse the two?
No, go for it.
Action for Battlefield.
I do think. I mean, I want Overwatch to win something, but I'm still convinced Battlefield 1 is going to win multiplayer. But we'll see.
If we get this wrong, it's my fault.
Yeah, take the blame, Jacob. Where's the, here it is. Okay, the big category of them all, Jacob. Game of the Year 2016 at the Game Awards. Nominees are Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4 Thief's End. Easy, Uncharted 4. I know that's boring.
I don't think it's easy.
I think it's easy just because
I think it's easy for someone like you that loves narrative, video games.
Yeah, but...
And it is a great game.
I've played all of them except Inside. Again...
These are all great games for the record.
Yeah. Again, maybe I'll feel differently when I play Inside. I doubt that it'll beat Uncharted, especially because Uncharted is everything that built up to an Uncharted 4. We got to take that in consideration. Well, it was a huge payoff. So... I think Uncharted 4 is going to
I think, as far as I know, Doom, Overwatch, and Uncharted 4 are three of the most highly reviewed games of the year.
I mean, Titanfall's up there, too.
Is it?
It got 9s and stuff in most places.
But I do think Overwatch...
So did Inside.
Not Overwatch. I do think Uncharted 4 wins.
Yeah.
But...
like we said,
I think Overwatch gets a lot of votes.
Mm-hmm.
And Doom, too.
Yeah, but like we said... What an
It may be
amazing year
insane.
for games. And we're going to have our own Game of the Year discussion in a couple of weeks as well. But yeah, that was fun, Jacob. I'm excited to see how this all this plays out on December 1st, just
Right.
2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe Naughty Dog doesn't win some of these because they're getting Game of the Year.
Maybe you're right. That's a good point. Maybe
So-
they don't just drown.
So do you want to
Naughty
maybe?
Dog with awards.
Let's not relook at anything. But
No, we'll have this list though for the sake of the
yeah,
future.
if you don't toss it,
No, I'll try to remember to hang on to it. Thanks for writing that down, Jacob. I'm excited to.
I'll
talk
stack it
about that.
under the topics.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, again, if any specific category stands out to you that you want to name what you think is going to win in that category, or all of them, if you want to take the time to do that, I'd be totally interested in reading it and discussing it with you guys. But it's exciting. A couple weeks away, December 1st, tune into the Game Awards. We'll see if our predictions were true. That brings us to a little bit of movie news, Jacob. This is exciting. The Winnie the Pooh live-action film has been announced. And I thought that was so funny. This comes from Alex Osborne of IGN. Quote, Disney's live-action Winnie the Pooh movie titled Christopher Robin has found its director and World War Z helmer, Mark Forster. According to Variety...
World War Z?
Director, yeah.
What?
That's the thing. Most directors, if you're a good director, can direct anything. So maybe this guy... I haven't looked at his other work. Maybe he's directed more movies like this one's being described as. But it says, according to Variety, Forster will direct the movie while Alex Ross Perry is penning the script for a story that will reportedly be similar to that of Seth MacFarlane's... Great shot, by the way, Jacob. To that of Seth MacFarlane's adult comedy Ted, but will offer a more family-friendly take on the, quote, fantasy buddy premise. As the film title implies, the movie will center around Christopher Robin, the young boy in A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh book series. Christopher Robin is one of many live-action films currently in the works at Disney. In addition to the Emma Watson-led Beauty and the Beast remake, which hits theaters this coming March, the studio is developing a live-action Lion King movie, considering a live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, and is already moving forward with a sequel to Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book.
Christopher Robin.
Oh, bother. I loved Winnie the Pooh as a kid. I
remember that line specifically from Winnie the Pooh movie that we used to watch as kids.
Okay. Yeah, I know the more recent Winnie the Pooh movie, I think came out in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Is it animated?
It was, yeah. I thought it was great. And very emotional at the end, too, if I remember correctly. But I loved Winnie the Pooh as a kid.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, is it necessary? Like, I mean, I grew up with Winnie the Pooh, but
Do I care was
about
any live-action Disney movie necessary based off the animation?
I feel like some would be more popular than others, but
I think
do people like Pooh Bear enough to get a live-action movie?
I think a lot of people will go see it,
I don't know
especially
if
with
I
their
will.
kids. I think it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not possible.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, should they do it?
I always remember you can go to Winnie the Pooh's world or the 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts 2. Remember that?
Yeah,
I like
that
going
world
to that.
sucked.
It was very bland, but I thought it was cool just because I like Pooh Bear.
Yeah,
But
I think that world was in both games, both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
mhm,
There was different storylines.
yeah. So how do you
Because
feel?
I think in the first game, you put it back together, and then the second game, it gets destroyed, then you have to put it back together again, because they forget what happens.
Right.
Not that any of this is relevant, but that's what happens.
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics, but I remember enjoying myself when I went to the 100 Acre Wood. Speaking of Disney live action movies, how'd you feel about the Beauty and the Beast official trailer?
Oh, it looks good.
It does.
I'm so excited for this.
Me
I'm
too.
a big Emma Watson fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great spring film.
Yeah,
We don't
certainly.
get a lot of good films in the spring, but I think this is going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's a great window for it, too. There's nothing else competing with it. As far as we know, unless something huge is announced prior to or between now and then. But I also think it looks really good. I can't wait to see the whole movie. Of course, I'm sure it's still in progress. But
I want to see Gaston in action.
And we got that brief glimpse of him like
Right.
yelling something. I can't remember what he yelled. But maybe
the
says
beast- the
maybe
beast
says
looks
we'll
good.
kill the beast or something. Yeah, the beast looks pretty good. Emma Watson looks great as Belle. A lot of the shots, I saw a comparison video too to the animation, and a lot of them look just straight out of the animation, which is cool. I can always appreciate.
You mean
when-
like the animated trailer and the live action trailer?
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is cool. So
I
I'm
think
excited
that was an
about it.
IGN video. They had
Maybe.
a side-by-side comparison.
I think so.
That's where I saw it.
Okay, and maybe I saw it somewhere else. I can't remember, but yeah, I think it looks really cool. I'm excited about it for sure. Disney's also reportedly purchasing Netflix. Did you hear about this?
No.
This is huge.
What?
Yeah, so apparently they're buying Netflix to compete with all the various streaming services, and that means all of Disney's movies would exclusively stream on Netflix and nowhere else, which is huge for both companies. One, Netflix
That's big for the Marvel TV shows too.
Exactly. So not only would Netflix is already incredibly successful, but to have Disney own them is huge as well, because everyone knows you can only get your Disney content or stream Disney content from Netflix. That's just going to bring in even more people.
Yeah, that's huge. I don't know if that's a good thing either.
Why?
But I mean, I'm not opposed to it because I love Disney, but I don't know. It's going to, the market's going to be more controlled. So, I mean, Hulu and whoever else is not going to have a chance with Disney running Netflix.
I mean, I'm sure all the that's the thing that streaming services have to their advantage now is exclusive content and exclusive shows.
Right.
I mean, Hulu
I'm just saying, like, Netflix is going to be so great. Like, nothing's going to be able to compete with it.
I mean, Netflix already has
It's already great.
I mean, Netflix is getting to a point where they could drop everything except their original stuff.
That's true.
At some point. But to have Disney backing them as well to get all of your Disney content on Netflix in addition to all of their great original series, I mean, that's huge for Netflix.
I'm just speaking from... like big media corporations, they control everything, and it's just another big corporation, a big conglomerate coming in and buying up something so they can control the profits.
Right.
I think there's 6 big media corporations in the U.S. and they control like 90% of the media revenue.
It's pretty much Disney is going to own the world at some point.
Disney's one of them. So.
I mean, they own so much stuff, it's ridiculous. But it'd be cool to be able to hop on Netflix and there'd be every single Marvel movie at your fingertips. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
No, me neither.
I'm just saying it's not all good.
We'll see how it plays out, Jacob. I'm definitely
excited.
all for it.
I'm excited to see any Disney movie I want anytime I want. That's gonna be nice. I'm assuming Star Wars might be on there too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure
it'd be great to see Rebels on Netflix because I've always wanted to watch that.
Yeah, I think season 1 was on there at some point, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know,
because I know Clone Wars was on there. But I'm sure they'll swap stuff out a lot too. Like, these few months you can get this stuff, and then a few months from now you'll get this stuff instead. But I think that's really cool. That's big for Netflix if that is the case. Yeah. Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones has officially been cast in the Han Solo movie for Star Wars. It says, quote, Disney broke the news directly via the Star Wars website, announcing that it will that's a huge typo. Announcing that quote, Clarke, known for her stirring portrayal of Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones, will join the upcoming untitled Han Solo Star Wars movie. Whoever's crafted this paragraph, I apologize. I don't know how they got a job writing for this Disney website or whatever website I grabbed this from. It says they don't reveal much about what character she might play other than saying that, quote, Clarke's role will round out a dynamic cast of characters that Han Solo and Chewie will encounter on their adventures. That's pretty cool. I like Emilia Clarke as
I do too.
As Daenerys Targaryen. I haven't seen her in much anything else.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
I know she was in Me Without You, I think, was that romantic comedy.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either, but I like her as Daenerys, so I'd like to see her as a lady with attitude in the Star Wars universe. Of course, that's kind of Jen Erso.
Give me some attitude.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see her riding a dragon in the Star Wars universe. A Star Wars dragon, a space dragon. How do you feel about that?
You're on to something.
They're going to cross over the universes, dude.
You have ideas.
Yeah, I think I'm really on to something there. But that's pretty cool. I like her as an actress, so that's cool that she's going to be bouncing off of Donald Glover and what's his name? Aaron Eichenreich or something?
The guy playing Han?
Yeah, something like that.
No idea.
He's got a way cooler name than mine. That's all I know. Marvel's Inhumans TV series has officially been announced. It's coming to ABC, and I think its first 2 or 3 episodes will have an IMAX screening debut.
Inhumans is not going to be on Netflix.
No, which kind of sucks because that's half the reason I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't want to watch ABC. Their shows suck. ABC doesn't have any good shows.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I've heard Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a strong fan base behind Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't want to watch it because it's on ABC.
Yeah, I've heard that it's not that great.
I know it sounds like a douchebag thing.
I've tried watching it before and it wasn't that great.
Okay, well, the only cool thing I have seen from is all the clips I've seen of Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think he looks really cool. There's been rumors that he might get his own show. I don't know. I feel like he'd belong on Netflix over ABC any day just because he's a very brutal character. But I don't know anything about the Inhumans. I'm not even going to pretend to know. All I know is that it was originally on Marvel's list of movies to come out. I think it was the first one right after Infinity War is what it was slated for.
Yeah.
Originally.
So now it's just a TV show.
Yeah, and then they announced that they cut it just completely, and there was rumors floating around that it was going to be a TV show. But it is coming to ABC. I know Vin Diesel was supposedly going to be playing one of the characters in the movie. Now that it's not a movie, I don't know if he's going to do that. But that's interesting. I'm probably not going to watch it because it's on ABC. If it was on Netflix, I'd be like, oh, totally. I'd try to get to know more about the Inhumans. But yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess, for Marvel fans. But I thought I'd toss that in there for those who are interested. But this is the last bit of movie news for the week. I can't remember who this is from, but I grabbed it from somewhere. This is for The Last of Us movie. New details have emerged. It says, quote, oh, this is from Sam Raimi, by the way. A guy was interviewing Sam Raimi because Sam Raimi is still attached to produce the movie whenever it comes out, or if it ever comes out. From Raimi, it says, quote, well, unfortunately that one, when we went to Neil with Ghost House Pictures, we were hoping to get the rights like we do any project, and then we'd take it out and sell it, but we'd control the rights. With this one, he went to Sony, who I have a very good relationship with, but they have their own plans for it, and I think Neil's plan for it. I'm not trying to be political. Neil's plan for it is not the same as Sony's, and because my company doesn't have the rights, I actually can't help him too much. Even though I'm one of the producers on it, the way he set it up, he sold the rights to Sony. Sony hired me as a producer by chance, and I can't get the rights free for him, so I'm not in the driver's seat, and I can't tell you what Sony and Neil together will decide on. If they do move forward, I'd love to help them with them again, end quote. And then the interviewer says, when I pressed if Raimi was still attached to help produce The Last of Us movie, he replied, yes, I'm attached to it. I'm not too sure what that means. Right now, it's just sitting there. They don't want to move forward, and it's not my place to say why. And Neil, I think, is in a slight disagreement with him about how things should go as there's a standstill. And I don't have the power to move on it, end quote. What's interesting to me about this is that Neil Druckmann clearly is not satisfied with the current state of the direction and potentially the script of this movie, whatever script they might have, which I think makes total sense because Neil Druckmann, along with, I can't remember that other guy's name that he worked with, Neil Druckmann is basically the face of The Last of Us, and was the director, of course, and I think he might have written it too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I do know he directed the game.
What was Amy Hennig's role?
She was the creative director of Uncharted 2 and 3, I think. Maybe it was just 3. Okay. I think it was just 3. Maybe it was 2 as well. No. Yeah.
Let's call him up and get bad service.
Yeah, great idea. But no, I actually like to hear this. It sucks that the movie's still at a standstill, but I'll say right now, I'll be fine if the movie never comes out. But if they're going to make a movie, this is the one. If I had to pick any video game movie to be done justice, it'd be this one specifically, because this game is almost a movie in itself. Easily the best. It's the best game experience. Now, I wouldn't say like I've said this many times, it's not the most fun game I've ever played, but it's the best video game I've ever played. Uncharted 4 took a lot of what The Last of Us did great and expanded upon that. But just from a narrative standpoint, from start to finish, The Last of Us was unbelievable. And
I think for that reason alone, maybe they shouldn't touch it.
I know.
That's how I've always felt about it.
I think that's probably why Neil's challenging it so much. One, because he's basically personally responsible for The Last of Us, and it's like his baby, essentially. And I would see why he wouldn't want a crappy movie to come out and just taint its name, which I don't think it would, especially from a gamer standpoint. Everyone who's played The Last of Us knows how great it is, and you could release a crappy movie and it wouldn't change your opinion on it at all.
Yeah. It does need to be great, though, if it happens.
I agree. Based on the Logan trailer we saw for Wolverine's final flick, a lot of people said this, were making comparisons to The Last of Us with Joel and Ellie, both Logan and X-32. I think it's X-32. I'm having a brain fart. But it looked very Last of Us, when they're holding hands by that gravestone. It just had that vibe to it. Now, if they were to make a Last of Us, I hope they go with that style. It's a shame you probably can't get Hugh Jackman to play Joel. Maybe you could, because he basically looks like Joel in the trailer for Logan. But
yeah, if you got a haircut.
I never even thought of Hugh Jackman playing that role until I saw the Logan trailer. I was like, holy crap, that's Joel. That'd be awesome. But I like to hear, even though it sucks to hear that it's at a standstill, I like to hear that Neil Druckmann's still fighting to make sure it goes in the right direction. If it never happens, then so be it. I think he's probably fine with that too.
At the same time, you have to make compromises, though, or a studio like Sony's not going to back you.
That's very true. That's understandable too. If you're going to make a movie, that's what's difficult.
Because Sony has to, think what's going to be best for them.
Totally.
That might not be best for whatever Neil wants.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and that actually segues great into our community questions this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we love this segment of the podcast. It's our personal favorite because we get to communicate with you directly. You can reach us via the hashtag AskIOG on Twitter. That's AskIOG on Twitter. Or message us on Facebook. You can message us on Instagram. I know that's not ideal, but you can if you want. If that's your preferred platform, you can message us on PlayStation or Xbox, and you can message us... or you can even leave a comment on YouTube, which our first question did come from a YouTube comment. It comes from Stephen Jones. Sorry, I'm all tied up here. Stephen Jones, he says, why do you guys think it's so hard to make movies based on video games and vice versa? You want to start with this one, Jacob?
probably for what I just said, there's people that, own the license. Well, Sony owns the license, I guess, to the games. But so do the studios too, right?
Yeah.
And people behind creating the games. And you have to come to an agreement, and Sony's a big company. They're actually one of the big conglomerates I was talking about. They're the 7th because they're not solely based in America. That's why we say there's 6, but there's actually 7 in the world. But yeah, Sony is going to do what is going to make them the most money. It makes the most sense for their company and their name. So
I think ultimately it comes down to the timing that they have to deal with, as well as a huge part of it is creative control. With the movie specifically, I mean, it's hard. It's interesting because think about Warcraft, for example. The director claims, I don't know anything about him, but he claims to have been a lifelong World of Warcraft fan and that he knew the lore and he knew everything about it. And he had a huge passion for the franchise. And the movie didn't do... I mean, it wasn't amazing. That's the thing. I'm not a huge Warcraft fan, but I went to it, like I said, with zero expectations and found a lot of enjoyment out of it. I would see a sequel if they made it. I didn't fully understand all of the lore. I think I'm getting work texts. I didn't fully understand everything that happened. I understood everything that happened, but all the specifics, like certain characters and their background and stuff, I didn't fully understand, but I still enjoyed the movie. But I know critically it wasn't praised. It was just kind of like, oh, whatever, it was fine.
Yeah. And it was just fine.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. That's what's weird about it, is like asking, why do you think it's so hard to make video game movies? Is because
they're different kinds of experiences. When you're actually, controlling what happens.
This is what I mean about creative control, though, because their director is supposedly a huge fan, but even he couldn't bring a product to the table that was praised, Like even, let's say, Neil Druckmann, take all the time you want in the world. You have full creative control over the Last of Us movie. You do it your way. Do you think he could still make, like, I know he's not a movie director, he's a game director, but do you think he could still, or even if you worked with a film director that he knows personally, and Neil, you can be on set every day and make sure this goes the way you want it to go. Right. I wonder if it would still play out.
So I think video games and books both suffer from the same problem that being turned into movies, because books and video games both are much longer than a movie is. Or a movie can be that long, but no one's going to sit through a fucking 9-hour movie, you know?
That's why a lot of games and or books typically
are much better than movies.
Well, that too, but I mean,
movie versions.
They work, if you're going to make a live action adaptation of either of those things, sometimes they work, most of the time they work better as a series, like a 10 episode run.
Right, kind of like what Harry Potter does or Lord of the Rings.
Right. It'd be interesting to have seen a series of Harry Potter. Imagine this, and they'll never do this obviously, but a series of Harry Potter where each school year is a full season of a show, like 10 episodes. That'd been interesting. Nowadays,
only 10 episodes?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to see 23 episodes. I think storytelling is done best between a 10 and 13 episode series.
Well, that's the thing, like a year. Many things happen during a year. I feel like you could get away with that in Harry Potter because there's so many different things that could happen during a school year.
Yeah, but
But at the same time, some things could be watered down.
Right.
I don't want that to come to fruition anyway, a Harry Potter TV show.
It'll never happen. I know we've talked about Harry Potter the last 2 weeks.
It'll never happen.
But 13 hours is a lot of time to dedicate to like the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm impressed as much as they got into Sorcerer's Stone with it only being a 2-hour movie. Yeah. So that's just an example.
It's hard to say what should and shouldn't be in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I mean that's besides the point. But I mean, it's ultimately just it's hard. It's got to be the length thing, and just because studios want to go in different. The thing about the studio, like especially Sony, like. I can see why studios are like, oh, we don't want to release. I mean, it can come down to the simplest thing. Like, we don't want to release an R-rated film. We want this to be action-packed. We want this to be this way. The Last of Us is very much a character-driven, personal story in a very dire world. I love that kind of stuff. Like The Road is an amazing post-apocalyptic movie. I Am Legend is great. I mean, there's countless post-apocalyptic movies, but The Last of Us...
The newest Mad Max is good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and that's action-packed, but the father-daughter dynamic between Joel and Ellie is a very personal story that I'm fine with playing the video game because you get the most experience out of it playing that journey with them throughout the entire game and crammed into a movie. I think it's still doable, but... I mean, only time will tell, but I think ultimately, like we said, it just comes down to creative control and dealing with how much time you have to work on it. And just the studio control, too. That's what I mean by creative control. Like, if the studio's like, no, you're going to do it our way or the highway, that's where a lot of problems arise.
That's why we compromise.
Yeah.
And apparently, things aren't going well for the Last of Us movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about the Last of Us, it's any video game movie.
Yeah. And Uncharted's making a lot of progress. Seems to be picking up steam. It's just a matter of who they cast now.
I don't even care about video game movies. I don't even think we need them, to be honest.
I don't think we do either. I get excited about them just because I love those experiences, and I like to see...
That's the point.
I like to see any piece of art that I enjoy expanded upon in any type of medium, whether it be film or a game or a book or a TV series.
We're still learning what works and what doesn't work, I think, with video game movies. They're still relatively a new thing that's happening. I know I think we made some in the 80s and 90s, but it's still a relatively new concept of making a video game into a movie, unlike books, which we've been doing for
centuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you know who I would have loved to see play Nathan Drake in the Uncharted movie 10 years ago?
No.
Brendan Fraser from The Mummy. I think he'd been awesome. Nathan
he's got
Drake.
the hair.
Yeah, he's got the hair and he just has the personality. I think he could have killed it as Nathan Drake. It's a shame he destroyed his own career. But, and I haven't seen him in a movie for 5 or 6 years now, but he was a little chubby. I'm wondering he's a little old now, but I'm wondering if he lost a lot of weight, if he could still pull off Nathan Drake.
I could see it.
Because Nathan Drake kind of starts out young in Uncharted 1. He's not a kid, but he's much younger than he is in Uncharted 4, for example. But I would have loved to see Brendan Fraser with that same kind of personality that he has in the Mummy as Nathan Drake. I think that'd have been cool.
Yep.
Steven, thank you so much for your question, my friend. And he did ask, can we leave questions on YouTube? Feel free, anyone, if you don't have a Twitter or a Facebook or anything, if you're just on YouTube. Or if you're listening on Spotify and stuff, you can email us as well. I forgot to throw that in there at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com. But yes, anyone else who would prefer to leave a comment on YouTube, feel free. Next one comes from, he had a second question. Forgive me, Steven. Second question. I like this one a lot, too. In the new Star Wars trilogy, we met Lord Snoke. Do you guys think he's an entirely new character or someone that we've already met in the series?
I think he's brand new, but I want him to be...
Mace Windu. That was a theory.
I would either want him to be...
Boba Fett. That's a theory.
Sidious.
Okay.
Which I don't think he is. Mm-hmm. Or Darth Plagueis. But I think he's a brand new character. How do you feel?
I think if he were to be any character that's already existed, I think it'll be Plagueis. But if it's not him, I think it's just someone new. Because, Snoke says in the movie in Force Awakens.
I want to know where he comes from if he is new. I really hope they explain that. I doubt they will, though.
He already did say, I was around for the rise of the Sith and...
so
the rise of the Empire... And the fall of the Empire. So he's just been behind the scenes the whole time. So they could arguably tie him into any timeline and have it make total sense.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think he's someone new, but technically he's existed this whole time, but new in the sense that we've never been introduced to him before.
Behind the scenes, just watching it happen.
Yeah.
Waiting for his time to interfere.
Yeah. Now, I know they've made a lot of announcements recently for episode 8. Benicio del Toro, for example, is being described, appearance-wise, he's described as a man in all black, who has and this is silly to say, but has a hairstyle similar to Poe Dameron's. That's his look of the character. And apparently, now this could be a spoiler.
Who's this?
Benicio del Toro. He's in episode 8. He played...
He's a new character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's being described as in between being a good guy and a bad guy. Now this may be a spoiler, but I keep up with a lot of movie news, so I don't have to talk about this. It doesn't spoil a plot detail. This is just character details regarding him. He's being described as a character that's in between good and bad, or at least that's what he's perceived to be. According to a source, the good guys, I think he's going to be interacting mostly with, I can't remember who he's going to be interacting with, but they said that the good guys don't think he's a bad guy. They think he's a good guy. They described him similar to Lando Calrissian, how Well, we don't know much about this guy. We don't know what he's all about, but he was kind of on both sides in Empire. He betrayed them, and then he, made up for it in Return of the Jedi. But I don't know about Snoke. It's going to be interesting to see. And Benicio del Toro is being rumored to be like the actual bad guy of the trilogy. I don't know, maybe because Benicio del Toro is a A-list actor. I mean, he's huge. He's been around for a long time, so I don't feel like you'd cast him to be like a throwaway character.
I don't know, dude.
We'll see. But Steven, I apologize, we don't have a solid prediction, but I think me and Jacob have agreed we think he's someone new in the sense that we just haven't been introduced to him before. But I'd like to hear your thoughts as well, so if you're tuning in, please share. The last one comes from Cole Landry on Facebook. He says, I've been playing the crap out of Skyrim for the past couple of weeks. I've clocked in 20 hours on a vanilla save and 30 on a modded save.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
that's 50 hours.
That's amazing. So my question to you is, modded or vanilla? If modded, what kinds of mods do you have?
I say vanilla for your first playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Do everything you want to do, then you hit the mods up.
Okay.
I've never done mods, so I don't really have a lot of
neither.
experience like knowing what I would want, to be honest.
I haven't either, but I got to say I'm really excited to try them. I love Skyrim.
On PlayStation?
Most likely, yeah. Maybe I'll get it on Xbox if the mods, because I know the mods differ slightly, I think, on Xbox. But we'll see. I'm going to do a bit of research before I play Skyrim.
Leave a comment down below or on Facebook or wherever you like to talk to us, Cole. What do you play on and what mods do you like?
Yeah, specifically.
Tell us what the popular ones are. What should we check out?
Totally, yeah. Definitely specifically about the mods you use, because I'm more of a, maybe there'll be some just ridiculous mods that are just crazy that you can add to the game, but I'm more into mods that are either aesthetic or simple things, like kind of like the one Preston was into in Fallout, where you could add the gun to your back. Yeah. Like little things like that I can appreciate.
I wonder if there are any aesthetic ones like that change the world for the consoles.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I've seen them on PC and they're cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one that makes it more snowy.
Yeah.
It's just like heavy snow. It's cool.
That is cool.
Like changes the lighting.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of in the same boat with you, but I've played Skyrim so much that I might just go balls deep into the mods right when I start and see how it goes. But like I said, I think I'm going to play Skyrim in December because I'm just in the mood to play it around Christmas time. I think it sounds like a solid game to play around Christmas time. But going into the brand new year, grand opening year to next year. But Cole, thank you so much for your question, my friend, and to you, Stephen Jones. Were the only two community questions we had this week. I didn't send out a tweet asking people to ask us questions because not much happened. I apologize. I was so busy. I kind of threw all this together at the last minute. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion we had this week. I had a lot of fun talking about Game of the Year predictions with you, Jacob. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything specific that you want to talk about this week, of course, you can message us anywhere you want. But if you're on Spotify or iTunes, Google Play, Audio Boom, wherever you are out there in the world, if you haven't already joined us on youtube.com/itsobviousgaming, we encourage you to do so. We have a bunch of extra content. Occasionally do unboxings. We do mostly Let's Plays. We'll occasionally review games and or movies. So this is our home base where we communicate with everyone for the most part. We encourage you to come over and subscribe if you're willing. And again, speaking of iTunes, for those of you that either listen on iTunes or aware that we are on iTunes and you're bored one day, like I said, best time to do it is if you're on a train, on a plane, or an automobile of some sort, and you're just hanging out and have nothing better to do, just head on to any of our YouTube videos. Linked in the description is our iTunes link. You can just click it, give us a quick review. It really helps us out growing this community because we love communicating with you guys directly and talking about all of these fun things, video games, movies, blah, 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 blah. A lot of variety this week, Jacob. Thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I need to go to the bathroom so bad.
Do you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Jacob. I didn't mean to keep you waiting.
No, I just had to let you know.
Cool. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this podcast, please give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe to stay tuned. And we greatly appreciate everyone's support around the interwebs, regardless of whether or not you're on YouTube with us. So I feel like I'm forgetting something. I always forget how to do the outro because Preston's not here. This was the It's Obvious podcast. Did you mention the
PSN community?
Oh, PSN community. That is a thing. You can join us on PSN. Join the community.
Also our Xbox community.
Yes. Both our Xbox Club and our PSN community are both titled It's Obvious Gaming. You can find them by searching them in those specific, I don't know, tabs, I guess you call them, sections on these online services. But you can join them there and we can all stay in touch and play some games together. Like I said, Thanksgiving, it's going to be a busy week because I have family in town and such, but I will be online every night playing various games. So if there's anything specific you guys want to play, let us know down below and we'll be happy to join you.
I hope everyone has a fantastic Thanksgiving if you live in the States, and we will see you next week.
Absolutely. Everyone have a wonderful week. Goodbye.